It's outrageous what the Democrats are doing. Look, if they're going to conduct an investigation, let's do it. Let's get it over with. Let's let the facts, let's follow the facts. I served as the chief investigator for Congress, for the Congressional Committee on Government Reform and Oversight, and I can tell you that if you want to follow the facts, you got to go where the facts lead you, and there aren't any to lead you anywhere except for some Democrat operatives, and like this Dr. Vargas, who is really maybe at the center of this. He needs to be hooked up to a lie detector pretty quickly and get on the record in a deposition before she finds her very good lawyers that she's going to need.
All right, what you're talking about is Dr. Evelyn Farkas. She was Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Russia and for Ukraine under President Obama. She was on another network at the beginning of March, and this is what she had to say if you missed it last night, and we'll get your reaction, David.
I was urging my former colleagues and frankly speaking, the people on the Hill, it was more actually aimed at telling the Hill people, get as much information as you can, get as much intelligence as you can before President Obama leaves the administration, because I had a fear that somehow that information would disappear with the senior people who left. So it would be hidden away in the bureaucracy, that the Trump folks, if they found out how we knew what we knew about the Trump staff dealing with Russians, that they would try to compromise those sources and methods, meaning we would no longer have access to that intelligence. So I became very worried because not enough was coming out into the open, and I knew that there was more. We have very good intelligence on Russia. So then I had talked to some of my former colleagues, and I knew that they were trying to also help get information to the Hill. That's why you have the leaking.
David, is she admitting that the Obama administration surveilled, unmasked, and leaked?
That's just a devastating admission right there. And if the chairman of the House and Senate investigations needs to be calling her today. They need to be sending her a subpoena. They need to be deposing her immediately to find out who exactly she was talking to. And is she one of those that was leaking the information, the national security information, I might add, that's a felony, because she clearly knows either she did it or somebody she knows did it. So I think these are the types of insidious things that the president has really uncovered in the first 65 days of his administration, that there are people, incredibly bad, intentioned people, who are left over from the Obama administration, who are trying to do damage to him for political purposes, incredibly irresponsible things to be done.
You know what's interesting about it? I believe at the point when this stuff was going out, she had left the federal government. She was working on the Hillary campaign, I believe.
She was an advisor to Hillary Clinton.
So when she says what we knew, how did she know? Because she had left the federal government. The leak came from somebody in the government. Powerline blog says it sounds like she was the source of the New York Times article where it was revealed that in the waning days they tried to put out as much crap as they possibly could to blow up Trump. And so for her to have said that on television, it looks like somebody leaked to her. So to your point about call her up, have her testify, that's great.
Immediately. The problem with these types of investigations is they take too long. When I served there, you have an incredible process, but it's really one that can be moved at a very rapid pace if you have a chairman that is willing to do it. So I got to tell you, she needs to be subpoenaed and deposed very, very quickly to get to the bottom of whatever it is she knows. Because we all know that the Clinton campaign as well had contacts with the Russians. And it's not nefarious necessarily. It's just they did as well. And so having contacts with foreign leaders, the heads of foreign states, ambassadors, that's common business during a presidential campaign. So there's nothing wrong with it. And so look, they're trying to make something out of the business dealings of Paul Manafort and others. That's on a different level than Donald Trump knowing something about the Russians or them coordinating. I'll be honest, having been involved at the highest level of that campaign, I can tell you there was no Tom Clancy style conspiracy going on between the campaigns.